This is IA Forward, your playbook for success as an independent insurance agent. Now, here to help you knock it out of the ballpark are your hosts, Shane Tatum, Tanya Lead, Mike Basil, and Robbie Jabor.
Welcome to IA Forward. It's almost Christmas, and we have a new gift, and it's the gift that keeps on giving.
I'm not really sure. This is a good idea.
Well, it was your idea. That's supposed to be a good idea.
It was my idea. I'm not really sure it's a good idea, but Mike, Basil, Robbie Jabor on the podcast. 2 new members. I don't know. Are you guys like...
Well, I'm terrified.
You're terrified.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm all right.
You're all right? You don't care.
No.
It's like, whatever. I'll just sit in.
Yeah, we'll do it.
We'll do it. Whatever.
So what this is the bromance in me.
Absolutely. We needed some
Testosterone,
some dudes. We needed some dudes on the podcast who just needed to break it up a little bit and just let's have some conversations. I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
This is what happens when you do a podcast and you equate ballroom dancing with baseball. And now we have 2 more guys.
More baseball.
More baseball.
Yeah.
Definitely baseball. Definitely a good baseball feel. I mean, these guys love baseball. So I love baseball. You kind of like baseball?
I like college baseball.
You like college baseball. Yeah. Well, you like LSU baseball.
I like SEC baseball.
Speaking of the SEC, what's going on with LSU?
Yeah, well, we've all jumped on the Lane train. I was driving through Baton Rouge last night at about 10 p.m. and all of the welcome to LSU Lane Kiffin billboards were out, including one from the First Lady of Louisiana.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
Billboards are everywhere.
So I always thought it was kind of crazy that 2026 number 1 recruit that's committed to LSU was there, right? Like he was part of the welcoming committee. Like I thought that was kind of interesting, but I didn't know that we're putting up billboards.
Oh yeah.
That's
Billboards are up. They're all down I-10.
That's the most LSU thing ever.
Try to forget about Brian Kelly as soon as possible.
Absolutely. And half the people still want Ogeron?
Yes.
Did we say that?
Yes.
Coach O back, right?
Right. Which Lane even mentioned in his press conference.
Right.
Is one of the first things he did was call Coach O, and Coach O told him that he was so lucky that he was in the very best place in America.
So around the table, who thinks Lane Kiffin is a little bit crazy?
Me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know much about him. I haven't followed him much in his career, but I mean, I think he's a really good coach. Might be crazy, but he's going to bring more wins than Brian Kelly did.
Yeah, that's not that hard.
Yeah.
Well, LSU hired in Brian Kelly. They hired a 7-5 coach, and they were shocked that they got 7-5 results.
I know, right?
So is it a messed up system or is it working? Like what? Like, how do you feel about the whole mid-season going to a playoff? Anybody see Rick Pitino's?
Yeah.
I did not.
His mention about it.
His comparable, like, he's the St. John's basketball coach.
Mm-hmm.
They're a number 1 seed going into the NCAA tournament with a chance to win a national title. And he just quits and leaves and goes somewhere else. So he was really like hammering on the calendar, right? The football calendar.
Right.
Well, this is all stemming from the NIL.
Absolutely.
Everything starts with the NIL.
Yeah.
Total crazy overcorrection of a system that was broken to something that is just as broken, if not more broken than it was before.
Right.
Absolutely.
I don't think Lane would have left when he did if Ole Miss hadn't forced him to do this. That this was totally Ole Miss saying we have to have an answer by this deadline. Going back to NIL, going back to the portal, I get it, but Lane would not have left until the end of the season if Ole Miss hadn't insisted.
But how? Because LSU wants him to take the job, right? He can't take the job and still coach another team like that. Nobody's doing that. That's like, hey, I'm quitting and going and joining the competitor down the street, but I really want to give you the rest of the year and be faithful to you. And so I'm not starting till January. Like, how does that work?
Well, I think it works that way because Ole Miss insisted on it. They wouldn't let him, they forced him to turn in a resignation and say, I am quitting by the date after the Egg Bowl. They wouldn't let him wait till the end of the season to make the decision.
Well, right. But LSU wasn't going to wait till the end of the season.
LSU would have waited.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They would have.
I agree.
Yeah.
What are their other options?
This was something that Ole Miss
Coach O?
forced.
Bring Les back.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for that. Y'all know I love Les. And that was to me, that was the challenge when they let Les go. They didn't have anything better in place. Because you don't let somebody go and then you bring in.
Maybe go get Coach Nick. Maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
I don't think there's enough money to bring St. Nick back. It's the Christmas season.
He's enjoying what he's doing now.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
He's great at it too.
Yes.
He's really good.
Yes.
He was right though. He's the one who said this
Absolutely.
NIL is going to destroy it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And that's part of the reason why he decided to go ahead and retire. He didn't like what was coming.
Yeah.
And I love his VRBO commercials. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah.
They're the
No,
best.
they're the best. They're great. Like,
Yeah.
and it kind of feels like that too. Like, I get it.
So what does any of this have to do with
I
insurance?
have no idea. We have 2 new people on the podcast. I feel so awkward. I don't know what we're doing. You need to save us here, Tanya. Just take us down a path that we can have some dialogue on. Something.
So why don't we share really quickly why the 4 of us? When we decided to add 2 people, why is it that we added these 2?
Well, because I said so. I'm kidding.
Well, no, that's true.
That's true. It's partially true. So I'll throw this in there and let the guys kind of give a little bit of background. But this is our agent development team, right? So in my view, we are who prospective agents, existing agents on the agent relations side. We're kind of the front line in the relationship with agents joining the Integra Partner Network. And so to me, it made a lot of sense for us to have a voice, right? For you guys to be a little more known. Tanya and I have been doing this for 3 years almost 300 podcasts in. It's been great. It's been awesome. But just like anything, just tweaking some things, testing some things, and giving some additional voices within different parts of the country where we're expanding, right? So you're the Southeast, right? Robbie's South Central. Mike keeps teetering back and forth between whatever we're going to, call him. Mike's out of Buffalo, New York, suburb there. Tanya's out of Pensacola. Mike's the Great Lakes region, right? That's what we've decided we're going to land on. Robbie's here. He has to endure me every day. He's in the same office as far as building space. And so he's the South Central U.S. And so just to give, I think, the perspective to the industry about who we are. And, it's more than me. It's more than Tanya. There's a whole lot of people at the Integra Partner Network. And so that was my reasoning, right, is to create some additional voices, familiar voices into the marketplace. So I don't know, what you talk about, a little bit about your background, and then Mike can give his background.
Yeah. So, when I originally, just kind of a little bit of a background, I was actually interested in being a partner agent in January of 2017. And so that's when Shane and I met, and I had no idea what aggregators were. I had no idea what networks were. I was clueless when it came to that. My background is State Farm. So I came from the captive world over to the independent world. So through 2017, the decision was for my family and I, the best thing to do was to not pursue it at the time. So Shane and I kind of kept in touch, and he asked me to join the team early 2018 and been here ever since. It's been awesome. I was not originally hired to work on the partner side of things. I was actually hired to help create and develop a service center, which is what we're, working on now, but, several years later. Some staffing changes, moves, whatever. He asked me to come over to the partner side and start prospecting. And so I've been doing this for about 3 or 4 years now, and I love it. I love, my background. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I was raised in the restaurant business, and some of my family work at it, and just kind of had that spirit. But this is kind of like the closest thing to that without being that, because I get to help people start their agency, so we're kind of, the support, instead of doing it on your own, having someone that, we do it every day. We understand the process. So having those conversations, helping people make decisions, giving them information, not a sales pitch, that's important from us. You've said that several times. Just really enjoy it. It's enjoy talking to people on a regular basis. So it's good.
Yeah. Not salesy, huh?
Not salesy.
And I have pet envy for Robbie. I mean, Robbie has the coolest pet ever.
Well, my daughter does. I regret it, obviously. So when she was 6 or 7.
Yeah, it had to happen.
Yeah,
right? It had to happen.
Eventually, right? She asked for a chinchilla for her birthday. And I said, babe, you're just way too young. You got to be able to take care of it, feed it, bathe it. Just got to be responsible. You're not at that age. Well, Dad, how old do I have to be? And I said, I don't know, 11. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, she'll forget about it over the next couple of years. No big deal. This little girl reminded me every birthday. She can't wait for her 11th birthday because she's going to get a chinchilla. And so right before she turned 11, I was like, it hit me like, we got to do this.
Got to do this. Can't bail.
So y'all ever heard of a chinchilla farm? No. Okay, so I didn't either until we bought a chinchilla.
I didn't even know what a chinchilla was. Right. I literally had to look up
right
and get the picture.
Right. Well, they're super soft, so they do make something. But
well, of course they do. I mean,
they do, right?
We're in Texas. We make coats out of every fur, right? That's just
yeah.
A small coat.
Yeah.
It's like what is that? Like a miniature coat?
Well,
like a Barbie coat?
Like,
okay.
So anyway, we've had Violet since for the last 4 years, going on 5 years.
And Violet is amazing. Violet is absolutely amazing.
Okay.
As soon as I met Violet, I called the cute boy and told the cute boy that I wanted to stop by the chinchilla farm on the way home and get one. And he said, no. And the entire time that I was in Huntington that week, I was calling him and telling him that I really wanted a chinchilla. And the day I was leaving, I'm like, look, I've got to figure out, am I going to come home an I-10 or I-20? I really want a chinchilla. And his response to me was, you can have one, but just know I'm going to be very disappointed in you if you come home with one. So I just have to see Violet when I come to town.
Good approach. Good job. It's awesome. So how did you get here? Like, you're like,
my story.
You're from way up north. Like, how did that happen?
Yeah. So I started, 2001. I started in technology in a company just outside of Buffalo, New York. That was purchased by a company in Louisiana in, 4 or 5.
Yeah,
something like that.
There.
And you were a client of that company when I went there. So I was in IT for a long time, up until about 3 or 4 years ago, working for that company that you eventually bought.
Yep.
And then I left for a little while, said I wanted to go out and do my own thing. And then I came back and said, try my own thing. Let's try something different again. So now I'm here, super happy to be here. And now we're doing the Northeast section of the country. And I will say one thing, like, I came down here this week expecting nice weather.
Absolutely. It's been in the 80s, right?
Right.
I mean, until you showed up.
Right. Because I could get 40 degrees at home.
Absolutely.
You don't need it here.
Yeah.
It was 31 last night when I got in. Yeah.
I mean, I think you did. Like, you're absolutely the one that brought this. It's been 80 degrees every day.
Yeah, 40 degrees out. Let me tell you, story time. This is one of the things I love about the Northeast. We're so warped in how we think about things. This is a conversation that happens in every house in the Northeast for people who decorate outside of their home at Christmas. Hey, hun, it's going to be 46 tomorrow. We should really get all our outside lights out.
Absolutely.
Now, wait a minute, 46. I mean,
that's awesome.
You should be talking about how we're not going to get hypothermia tomorrow.
I know, right?
So we had this conversation last weekend.
I'm scrambling for firewood because it's going to be below 50.
Right.
For the last 2 months.
But it's the worst experience. Yeah. It is the worst experience because now you have to go downstairs. You get all the lights out. You find all the ones that don't work.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we're 4 strands short. 2 green, 2 red. I got to go to the store.
Yeah. You got to get more.
Yeah. So I go to the big box store and I walk into the first one that I decided to go to, and I see the ode to Christmas because Thanksgiving doesn't exist. And I see my aisle that I need to get to, right? So I see all the lights, I see all the people. So I'm going to say 2024 Saquon. Like I'm bobbing and weaving here. Okay. I'm getting past the service dogs, the emotional support dogs, all the car-hearted guys, the baby strollers. So this is where I should have known where this was going sideways on me. Why is so much emotional support needed at the big box store? Like if I go to Home Depot, all these sport dogs. I go to Target, I don't see any sport dogs. Why is there so much sport happening? I found out. So I get down to my section, $2.95. I just want the $2.95 lights. Clear, 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 clear. Rainbow. Clear, clear, purple. Clear, clear.
All right.
So out of the corner of my eye, coming down, I had noticed there was another section of lights, right? So Saquon my way back over there. I see clear, clear, clear. Now I read that I need perfect $9.95.
No, of course, absolutely.
My cell phone was immediately out on $9.95. Are you kidding me? I'm not spending $9.95 for my phone.
How bad do we need these lights?
This is where I get got. She goes, oh, yeah, you should definitely check the other store.
Oh, yeah.
And on your way, the grocery store's right across the street. If you could just pick up these other couple things.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, fully
Fine. So I get out of there, go get the milk and the other things we need into the second box store. Oh, Christmas. Now, this time, I'm a little more, now it's Derrick Henry. 2023 Derrick Henry. It's like, do not stand between me and these lights. Go. Yeah. So I go. All right, $2.95. Clear, 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 clear. Yellow-ish. Clear, clear. Rainbow. All right. Back over. Now I'm moving back over to the other section, and I see, all right, $9.95 again.
You're doing it right.
So here's the best part. So big metal frames that these are sitting on 4 shelves. The ones I need are on the second one from the bottom. So I bend over to pick them up, and I'm crouched down, and I have good peripheral vision. I see this woman's backing up.
Oh, uh-oh.
Now I hear her talking, and I'm figuring surely she has spatial awareness.
I don't know why this is inappropriate, but is there a beep?
No.
Okay.
Well, that's immediately what I thought.
I
When
mean,
you said backing up.
Well, I mean,
Then she's getting a little closer. I see the cell phones on her ear.
oh,
I'm like, oh.
okay.
And before I could get up, right over the top of me, into the shelving.
Oh my gosh.
The best part is she comes up and she's ready to yell. Like it was my fault.
Yeah.
But she kind of assesses the situation.
Well, you chop blocked her, right? I mean,
It's like the little kids on the playground where the one little kid goes in behind and another one pushes someone over.
absolutely.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
But she sees, like, I'm still down here. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, okay, no worries. So I scrounge up my mangled boxes and I get out of there and I get to the checkout and I'm like, boop, 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 ready to go. Would you like to round up for charity?
Oh, it's
Of course I'm going to round up. So now $11 a box later, I am out of there.
All right.
You get them home?
They don't work.
No, I'll get them home. And of course, you plug them in, good to go. My wife walks by and goes, those are a different shade than the shades we have already.
Of course.
We're going to make it work.
No, I'm with her on that. I can't stand for things to be different shades when it comes to lights.
Yeah,
I'm totally with her on that.
And
Your
that-
wife would be the same way.
Oh, my wife would absolutely be the same.
Last part. So we get out there, we're putting them up. She's like, hey, go grab the ladder.
Frostbite yet?
No, I don't have frostbite
All right.
because I make sure I go inside every 5 minutes. Oh, I heard something inside. Let me go see it. She goes, hey, go grab the ladder. So put up these strands up here. Oh. Ladder's at my mom's house. But she knows better. We've been married a long time. She knows better than to let me go get it, because that's 15 minutes there. I'll find something to do there.
Right.
15 minutes back, that's at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
can't finish this today.
yeah. So you're going to go, you better figure it out. I'm like, what do you want me to do? You want me to take the 15 empty Amazon boxes that are in the garage and stack them up? Make it work. So I'm out there, with a chair and a stool on top of the chair, wind's howling.
Yeah.
I got it done.
You're now a meme about why women live longer than men. Somebody's got a picture of you. You're hanging out. Yeah. That kind of.
Feet are dangling.
Yeah. Peter dangling.
So, Mr. IT, I just want to let you know that any of those box stores have a website that if you go to their website and you tell it you want red lights, you can have them go and pull them for you, and then you pay for them online and you pick them up in front of the store.
Now, see, this is why I wanted a little more masculinity on our podcast here. Now, see, we can't do that. That is against that's just like, it just attacks us. We can't take that easy route. Like, I know that's better, but I got to go find, it's like asking for directions. We can't.
But I mean, like, I've done that in store at the Home Depot. Like, I've been there and I can't find something, so I'll go online.
That's
I'll order it online, and then they come and
The
get
Lowe's,
it for me.
and Home Depot app.
Yeah.
They're nice, Bay 12, aisle.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
But I mean, they will literally, if you're in the store, they will go get it for you. You cannot find it, and then you pick it up.
Yeah, but it's the $2.95 section. So if I would have went on there on the app, it would have just had a laughing face with tears coming down, because you think you're going to get these lights for $2.95 in December.
By the way, I bought all of the purple ones in Florida, so if you come across any more purple ones, I need them.
So Venmo.
Yeah, I'll be
No, that's a trip to the big box.
No. I'll be in there with my dog. I'll have her all strapped up with a
That's right.
emotional support thing.
Martha looks cute when she goes to the big box store. She always has, like her little scarf on or a little dress.
So welcome to the podcast, fellas. Right. Hey, we're going to talk about something, I guess, like something with insurance today, right? At some point.
I think we need to talk about how to insure men for their mental health and not business. But
Emotional support dog.
there we go. No,
Chinchillas. Emotional. Is that
emotional support chinchilla.
Is that a
Can you
thing?
put a coat on a coat?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Can you put a frame on a coat?
It's good.
Anything can be an emotional support.
What are we talking about?
Carrier report. No.
Oh, yeah.
No, what are we talking about?
Let's talk about carrier portfolio. That's
All right.
fantastic. One of the things that one of the first questions we get is, how many carriers can you give us?
Always.
Yes.
I mean, I'm like 152, but you don't need them, right?
That is it right there. You do not need them. I think that's the selling feature that maybe some groups would use is, look at all this. You can have all of this, but that's not what you need to start.
That's right.
And we like to talk about sports here, sports analogies, right? So, like, you have a receiver that was just moved to your team, Brandon Cooks for the Bills. You're not going to bring him in first game. You get the entire playbook. You're going to start out with a set of plays. It's the same thing. You're going to start out with a set of carriers. You're going to learn how to use those carriers properly, how to use their interfaces properly, how to work with them. And then, down the line, you can add some more, but you need to get proficient with a small group of carriers first.
That's right.
I think that's a really good analogy. Like, I always wonder how that happens. Like, this receiver gets traded, gets signed off the practice. No, that's a bad example. Not the practice squad, just like from another organization, Does the NFL have waivers? Do they do that? Like baseball? Like, okay. So they get, signed and they don't know anything. Right? That happened on Wednesday.
It's not a plug and play.
Yeah. But then they're in the game.
Right.
Like, how? Like, that's a great point. Like, I think that's a really good analogy of how you're moving from the captive system, or, you're moving from its second career, you're moving from another business, and you're going to start independent agency. And, the thing that's been going on for maybe a decade or longer is this idea that we can give you, hundreds of carriers. Like it's almost false advertising, right? And I know we're kind of the anti, hundreds of carriers kind of organization, but we have a lot of carriers. Like we're going through a whole carrier portfolio review right now on the operational side, and it's a lot. Like there's a lot, especially when you start talking about different states and different regions and things like that. But still, when you get down to a single agency, like, there's so many things that are good about having a competitive portfolio of carriers, like, profit sharing dollars you're leaving on the table, efficiency, like the efficiency headache of having too many carriers.
Mm-hmm.
So
I understand, though, from the other side, looking at it, if you've only sold Allstate, if you've only sold Farmers, and you have this one thing, and now you've decided to give up that investment, make a new investment, and one of the purposes of that is that you're able to shop. Well, you want to be able to shop for your clients as much as possible. The flip side of that is you don't realize that you were drinking through a fire hose when you were starting an independent agency, right? And yes, the idea of I can shop this with 22 different carriers, that's fantastic. But that's going to be a hot mess express a year down the road.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going from one extreme to the next. And you got to have a happy medium there. The other thing are carrier commitments. Like we've seen where, agencies may have several carriers and they're not writing business for certain carriers, and you got to be able to feed them, right? So the more you have, the harder that is to do. And during that process, you may lose an appointment or two, which is not what you want, because eventually that carrier is going to be competitive for you. You're going to want them. So
I think, to speak to that, I think there's a little bit of an illusion about the, what usually comes with the, we can give you 100 carriers, we can give you 200 carriers, is we can give you this with no volume commitment, right? Mm-hmm. That line in and of itself is very misleading, and just know that nothing is free, right? Nothing is for free. Just kind of follows that track. You probably aren't appointed. Right.
That's right.
You may not have access.
They're hiding you.
Yeah. Right. That's the little dirty little secret to that comment is you're not appointed. You have no access to portals, carriers. You can't talk to underwriters. You can't service your client the way you really need to service your client. And what's on the flip side of that, Reagan Consulting, big M&A consulting firm in the industry, puts out a best practices study every year. These are mostly best practices agencies, are larger traditional independent agencies for the most part. And they put in there things like average number of carriers. And what's really crazy is these really, really large, I'm not talking about on the E&S side, but like their primary core appointed markets. It'll be something like 6.8 carriers. It'll be something like, 7. It's never 28. It's never 35. Right. These are the most successful independent agencies in the country by statistical data, really, and really from profitability. I mean, to become a best practices recognized agency, you got to meet all of these KPIs, all of these metrics. And those guys are saying, well, I work with whatever the average number of the top 25%, 6.2 in personal lines, right? Which is so different. And it's kind of like the NIL. Like I think Mike mentioned this earlier. Like we took a broken system in NIL and we made another broken system, right? So it's kind of doing the same thing. My view is the captive arena is a broken system because it doesn't provide consumer choice. It had its day, right? It's shrinking. There's exodus to the independent agency system, better system, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the NIL equivalent. But now we've got this thing going on in the marketplace where we're moving it into another broken system where we've somehow made former exclusive agents think that having 50, 60, 80 carriers is a good thing. And it's not, right? You have to realize that there's that efficiency piece. There's all of those other pieces to that. I think that's interesting. And, the comparison that come out a little bit earlier with NIL is you don't want to move from one broken system to another broken system. There's somewhere in the middle, right? There's this place in the middle that's better. It's a really ideal place to be.
I think another part of it too is what you're insuring. Some of these carriers, they'll specialize in something. And the question is, if you're just starting out, should you even be insuring what it is they specialize in?
That's right.
That's good.
If you're just starting out, do you want to get into working with condos, whatever it is, and then you're going to need this carrier that specializes in condos. Well, no, you need to focus on some core things, get proficient at those, and spread out afterwards.
Well, condos are your niche. Then yes, condos aren't your niche.
Yes.
To quote Justin Hoosman, you don't have to turn over every rock, right? And I think that's how these convoluted carrier portfolios happen. Is you have a client and they need X. Well, X is different, so I'm going to go out and I'm going to get a carrier for this one client to cover X. Well, then I never get asked for X again, but I have this one weird thing in my portfolio. Well, if that happens once a week or even once a month, then now you have this big portfolio of carriers that you can't feed.
Well, I used to call it the middle 80. I've kind of moved to like the middle, what I would call the middle 70. We are, as an agency network, very personal lines heavy, small business, right? We don't have a ton of agents within the few that have some niches, but by the way, I like to call it niche, and Tanya likes to call it niche. She's very fancy with that, and I'm not fancy. You can see the comparable there really easily. And so as I say niche, I mean niche for the fancy people out there. So just know that.
Keep going.
Yeah. So the middle 70, like I think about this in terms of, there's the bottom 15% of the market, which let's just call that specialty auto, non-standard auto, very just weird stuff on top of non-standard auto. Then there's that top 15%. Let's just call that high net worth, right? Totally different. That's a niche in and of itself, right? That middle 70 in personal lines is where that core preferred group of carriers really play. And it's actually where the exclusive agent channel plays. It's where the big exclusive companies play. The middle class, right? It's kind of like middle, from lower to upper. I know we got all these different class scenarios these days, but it's like that middle 70 is where the auto, the 2 cars, the home, and a few toys. You need an umbrella, you need some life insurance. You can build this incredible, repeatable business in a choice model, focusing on that middle 70. And I started thinking about this. I'm going to throw this out there. First time I've made this public, right? This thought. But can personal lines in and of itself within the middle 70 be a niche market? Is it a niche market in and of itself? To just focus on that, right? To just focus on that mass middle 70, because everybody's talking in the marketplace. Like, you got to find a niche. You got to find a niche. And then it's like, well, do you? There's so much business leaving the direct and the captive channel. My question is, do you have to actually do that? Or can a portfolio of major brands within an independent agency, personal lines focus, middle 70, be your actual focus? Can it be your niche?
I think that's the focus for 70 to 80% of agents anyway. Yeah. They just don't realize it. They've never thought about it.
And I think they chase some outliers that gets them off the rails.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they chase it or it comes to them. Okay, it's really hard to say no. Yeah. And I understand that. Especially if you're just starting out and you're just trying to get your agency off the ground and you're not making a lot of money and someone brings you this opportunity at commission, for you to say no, thank you.
Very difficult. Yeah, they're trying to put food on the table, so they're going to try to do whatever they can.
And they're afraid that if they say no, they're going to go somewhere else.
Right.
And then that other agent's going to try to steal what they built. So I get it.
So, as that salesperson, we have this issue of letting customers walk. Like, and that's a term that the captive system uses, the exclusive agency, and I've heard this from agents that have made that leap or wanted to make that leap. Like, hey, I don't have to let any more customers walk, right? That's their phrase. That's a phrase that I learned from my captive friends. But the answer to that is truly, well, yeah, you should let some people walk. Like you shouldn't think about this business as a 100% close ratio type of business. I think that's the sales shift here is, what should that close ratio be? If you're coming from a captive side where you're 10, 15% close ratio, and you're able to move to a 30 or 40% close ratio as an independent agent, I think that's good. That's a really good place. But you shouldn't have this false thought that you should move to a 70 or 80% close ratio. Mm-hmm. If you're closing that much business, there's probably something a little off, honestly. It's just part of it.
I spent about 2 years talking to new agents that were coming on board with us within the Integra Partner Network. And one of the first things I would ask them was, who is your target demographic? Who do you really want to write? And any of them coming from the captive exclusive channel, they said, well, that's why I came to the independent world, because I would be able to write for everybody. And to try to help them through that thought process of, you don't want to write everybody.
That's right.
But that's one of those concepts when they come over from the exclusive world, they're so excited about.
There's a difference between can and should. That's the problem. Yes,
I can, but should I? Right? There's a superior model in my brain that I keep talking to people about around that middle ground, like finding that middle ground between these systems. Like, okay, we're going to go from this single choice captive system. We're going to go independent, but we're going to go to like 200 carriers. And that's that's replacing the bad model with a bad model. But somewhere in the middle where you have this competitive portfolio, like we've been running our partner program for 15 years now. And we have agents at scratch starting out this month to over 25 million in premium. And over that 15 years, we've seen a lot of success and we've seen a lot of things happen. When we look at the top 25%, think about that Reagan Consulting best practices. When you narrow that down and say, well, what's the Integra best practices? Well, the top 25% specialty and preferred all in personal lines are writing like 92% of their business with like 9 or 10 carriers, including their specialty area, right? Like, they need a couple of extra for some toys, or they need an umbrella market that's a monoline umbrella, maybe some monoline home for coastal or a cat area. All of that is included in those 9 or 10 carriers, like 92%. And my question to even those agents is, does the other 8% of your book really make an impact? Like, does it make a financial profitable impact? Or would that 8% actually be more profitable to not even be in your book? And that's been something that as salespeople, we struggle with because we don't want to say no, right? But at the same time, when you look at the numbers and the KPI, you can kind of understand that, hey, this smaller targeted portfolio that's efficient, that does everything that I need it to do, I don't have to hire as many account managers. I don't have to do a whole lot of back-end work.
That's the point I was just about to make, was capacity. Once you've established yourself a little bit, especially, there is X amount of customers that you can service with X amount of policies. Mm-hmm. So are you going to subtract from that core to do things that are outside of the core? Yeah. And you're going to find that you're spending a lot of extra time servicing those things that you don't generally service.
you're thinking like a salesperson and not like an owner. Because if you were thinking like an owner, you would be thinking, if I could consolidate this, then I am looking at profit sharing, contingency dollars, I'm looking at efficiency. If you're looking at it as a salesperson, it's, I need this carrier to be able to write this person. And most of our agents come from producer backgrounds, right? And switching from that producer mindset to that CEO entrepreneur mindset is not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not at all. It takes a mental shift. It takes a profitability shift versus a sales shift, right? And you have to think about both. You got to wear both hats. And hey, we're not going to have successful independent agencies if they're not started and run by salespeople. Like, it's okay to be a salesperson. Right? I don't want to shame people into like, hey, bad salesperson. Like, that's not what we need to be doing. Like, that's what makes agencies successful, is we're started and run by salespeople. The growth is having that salesperson shift to also becoming that owner operator, CEO mindset, business owner mindset, so that they can start seeing and answering that question. Hey, should this 8% of my book that's scattered across, another 10 to 15 carriers, like, do I really need those? Like, do I need to do something there? This is a crazy topic, by the way, coming out of the last 2 or 3 years in a hard market. Like, agents are going to hear some of this and go, oh my gosh, they're telling me to like have less carriers, not more carriers. And in a hard market, that feels like a really difficult thing. Sure. Right? Because you're trying to hang on to clients. Yeah. Where the marketplace is going, however, over the next couple of years, if you don't think about this this portfolio and kind of like who are your go-tos and maybe even consolidating some of that at renewal, then you're going to find yourself a little bit behind on the capacity, on the efficiency side.
Has he made you read the E-Myth yet?
No.
Okay, so this is one of those things going back to the book, the E-Myth revisited, actually, if you're going online to get it, talks about trying to not create a new job, a new job when you start your agency, right? Or start your business. And so many people do that, and they're miserable because they didn't go in with an entrepreneurial mindset. They went in with a sales mindset and just created another job for themselves.
Unnecessary,
The dollar of revenue isn't just a dollar of revenue. Like, you can't think about it like I just got to get some revenue. Like, starting out, that's the way it feels. I get it. Like, you're just trying to get revenue on the books. If you have the capital and the capability to get the right revenue on the books, that's the perfect place to be. And that's a lot about what they talk about in the E-Myth, is that, like, finding repeatable, something you can do repeatable. It's the only way to scale too. Like, that's kind of, starting out in the E-Myth and kind of thinking about that book, but also moving into some of the books on scaling, like The Science of Scaling or something like that. There's another one I'm reading that the name, I'm not sure of. I can't remember. I buy these books. I get these alerts and I buy these audiobooks and I listen to them.
You listen to half of them.
And I listen to half of them. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, this is the same thing. And then I stop. Is anybody? Yeah, it's just a problem I have. It's like, nah.
Write the book, Shane.
There's nothing new under the.
For 8 years, I've been saying, write the book. And he just doesn't ever listen to me.
There's Ecclesiastes. There's nothing new under the sun, right? There's nothing new. It's all futile. So, it's like, but there's this scaling conversation about the only way to scale is you got to find things you can repeat and do over and over again well. That's the formula of having the right portfolio of carriers, is you don't get into this constant remarket, constant chasing of price. You build a portfolio around efficiency, around some brand recognition, around, being able, they pay their claims well. They're financially stable. You're not fighting with the carrier all the time. There's a great owner operator independent agency business model in that middle ground.
Am I the only person here who's never listened to an ebook?
I don't think I've ever listened to any books.
See, I know there was a reason I invited you guys on.
Really? That's what I do when I travel, or if anytime I'm in the car. That's what I'm doing, unless I'm getting ready to go teach a dance class.
Do you listen to music? Like, that's so 1980s.
No, I was just going to say, how do you stay up on your sports information?
Oh,
there we
If
go.
you're listening to
My car.
there we go.
So is there something wrong with listening to music like that?
I can't do it. I don't know. It's just,
Well, I've ridden with you, so I
you know this.
I know this.
Plus, I
You
don't
never
like,
listen to an ebook?
What? No. And why would I do that in the car? Like at some point, if it's dark out and I'm driving, I'm listening to the ebook. At some point,
Well, you listen to it at a faster speed at that point, then you have to pay attention.
I'm really concerned about your ability to stay awake in a lot of, there's a pattern. I'm sensing a pattern, This training video is 40 to 50 minutes long. How am I supposed to do this? I'm supposed to listen to this audiobook? Oh my gosh, how am I supposed to stay awake? Like, there's a pattern developing from all here.
it's narcolepsy.
Narcolepsy, something.
Okay, guys. Well, welcome to the podcast. We are so excited to have you. I think this is going to be this is going to hold the record for the longest IA Forward podcast. If you are listening to us or watching us, they won't all be this long with the four of us, I promise. But since you guys are new with us, I'm going to let you leave us today with your favorite quote.
Well, mine, if I can remember it, comparison is the thief of joy. I think it was Theodore Roosevelt
Love it.
that quoted that. So that is,
Awesome.
that's one of my favorites.
I'm just going to go with this. I wouldn't make a promise that you can't keep. We could go way longer.
Oh,
That's Mike's book.
that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think we can go long. We are apologizing for being long, but give us some grace as we find our way, right?
We'll get better.
We're embracing chaos here. That's kind of the new thing we got going into 26. I mean, we're going to get better. We're going to find our rhythm.
Find your way.
Find our way.
Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again next week. Enjoy this holiday season. We're so excited about the Christmas gift that is the new IA Forward podcast.
Mike and Robbie edition.
Yes.
Get it at, local stores near you.
Yeah, but if it's the big box store, make sure to bring your import animals or your import chinchilla.
That's right.
And now you get to close us out, Shane.
Attitude's a choice. Make a great one.
At the Integra Partner Network, we understand that carrier access is the key to your agency's success. That's why Integra offers direct access to top-rated personal and commercial carriers, ensuring your agency thrives in today's challenging market. And with our comprehensive resources, profit sharing and bonus opportunities, technology and peer support, all while you retain 100% of your book with no penalties to exit. Integra is ready to empower you and your agency to find sustained growth. Find your way to Integra. Visit IntegraPartnerNetwork.com today. That's IntegraPartnerNetwork.com.